The next really important step when it comes to marketing out of the 6 steps is to check whether your marketing is working or not. So frequently people are marketing products and selling things and they don't bother to see what is actually working and what isn't. Maybe you're putting a whole lot of effort into a particular marketing channel and it's producing really lackluster results, and you might even be having to force people to buy your product, which is, nobody's happy if you're doing that. Whereas there might be another marketing channel which requires very little effort for you because it's a really nice match and it feels natural and almost kind of enjoyable and even blissful at times to have a marketing channel working really well. But if you don't know that marketing channel is working really well, then how can you capitalize on that? And how can you stop wasting your time on channels that aren't working for you very well, if at all? And there are so many examples of this. I could spend hours going through examples with clients who didn't know where their marketing was working and where it wasn't. And this is just about metrics. You need to measure what is working and what isn't. So many people just think they know and they just don't know. There was an example years ago of a guy who was selling a particular type of t-shirt in the market, and I asked him to measure which ones were selling better, and he said, I don't need to do that, I've got my purchase orders and so on. And I said, okay, let's guess. And he goes, okay, the blue ones are selling out better than the red ones by a factor of 2 to 1, so twice as many blue than red. And he looks at his purchase orders and it's the opposite, right? Absolutely the opposite. So you need to measure your marketing and what is effective, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have an MBA. It can be as simple as looking at the purchase orders. What is working? What isn't? It can be as simple as asking people how they heard about you. Right? If you maybe getting referrals from a particular person, so maybe you go out and do something to reward that person for giving you those referrals and make them feel really good about you, and then it starts working even better. Isn't that great? If somebody's already giving you referrals and you just enhance the relationship. And that's an example of how it can be really enjoyable if you know which marketing channels are working well for you. Back when the internet was very young, I had a call from a Yellow Pages advertising person who actually said to me that it's a no-brainer that you've got to be in the Yellow Pages, and I asked him to call me back. I went and looked at my metrics and I said, you know what, I'm using this new thing called the internet. I had done an internet marketing program and I was getting great results. And I said to him, in order to get the phone to ring for somebody to inquire about my business, I have to spend basically $1.26 per call for people to call me if I'm using internet marketing. Whereas if I'm using Yellow Pages, I have to spend $16.30. And I said, you know what's a no-brainer? A no-brainer, like if I use Yellow Pages and I upgrade my advertising like you're telling me to, that's me having no brains. And he was dumbfounded because people that he spoke to never did that. He's like, I've never heard anybody say anything like that to me. And personally, I can't believe it. If you don't measure your marketing, you're throwing money away and you're throwing the value away that you could be giving to people, and you're depriving people of your product or service who could get enormous benefit from it. Measure your marketing, and it can be simple, so simple and so easy. You just need to look for indicators and be a bit of a detective about it. You probably have ways of measuring already which you may not be aware of. It's just a matter of looking. So when you're measuring your marketing, remember that if you think you know what's working, you don't know. You have to know that you know because you've gotten some proof. And only when you know what is really working and what isn't do you actually know, because coming up with some idea, you're probably wrong. So it's important to have proof, and the simpler and more accessible that proof is, the better.